Everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. I have a good friend of mine, Robert Moratti, who is with Ozgar, and it is a really cool system if you're running on an old legacy system and don't think that you kind of know what to do when it comes to bringing in a new solution. So thank you so much for being here and being
Yeah.
able to go and educate folks on who is Ozgar, how does it work, and how can people start potentially implementing it into their, tech stack.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So give me a little background on who is Oscar, how did it get started, what type of companies you're helping.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ozgar was created by our parent company, Specific Group, which is a large IT consulting firm based in Vienna, Austria. And the CEO of that company, Marcus Brandstetter, he is a longtime IBM champion, let's call him. He's been working with the system for many, many years, and he decided to create Ozgar, and like you said, it's catering to the folks out there who are running legacy software systems like an IBM AS400, IBM Z mainframe. The list can go on what kind of legacy systems, but it's designed specifically for those companies. So when it comes to what companies we help, it could really be anything. I mean, we see these systems a lot in financial institutions, manufacturing, insurance. It could really be anything. I mean,
Yeah.
automotive industry. There's really no specific market, right? Because like I came from the ERP space. I know you're very familiar with the ERP space. ERP is very designed for manufacturing, most of it. Then there's other ERPs for distribution and logistics and special healthcare systems, et cetera. But the based around ERP that we're so familiar with is manufacturing. And with this type of software, with this type of application, it's sky's the limit on who
Yeah.
you could potentially be selling it to.
Which is great because so many people, they've started out on those old legacy systems and they haven't moved off. I know how many times I've,
Yeah.
been on site and talking through it. They're like, oh, F2 and then F3 and then you hit,
The green
because the
screens.
mouse doesn't
Yeah.
exist and it's this beautiful green
Yep.
screen and yeah.
Yep. No, it really is crazy on how many companies out there are still running these type of systems, and that just goes to show that these systems are reliable. They're workhorses. They've been the backbone of the business for however many years they've been in business, and there's so many companies out there still running it. So like we just discussed, my background is I came from selling ERP software. So I was on the other side of the table where I used to walk into companies and be like, "Oh my God, you're on a green screen
Yeah, right.
old
Let's get you
system.
off this."
Yeah, ew, let's get you to the cloud, modernize it. Like, come on, let's." Most of the projects we did were very successful, but there's tons and tons of projects that fail when companies are coming off of a legacy system and trying to modernize it or move to something new. We actually, I believe we have a statistic. I think 74% of organizations fail to complete a modernization project, and a lot of the times it's because it's more about preparation. Okay, so the few things we see are like system blockers or hidden dependencies or undocumented logic. So when we talk about some of our biggest use cases, what we hear the most of when companies are in that type of position, one of them being, "Hey, we are thinking about modernizing. So, but we don't really know where to start. We don't know what to do." And we always tell companies like, "Hey, don't change your system to understand it. First,
Yeah.
deeply understand what you have." And there's tools out there that can help you with that, but as far as the amount of detail that Ozgar can give and how it gives it, there's really not much competition out there, because we are diving in. We install this locally right on the server, and it's uploaded in containers. And once it doesn't take long to start working, right? So if we signed up a company today, by the time we initiate the implementation, by the time it reads the source code, you're looking at maybe at worst a couple days.
Which is so
It's
crazy
up and
coming from
running.
the ERP side where, hey, implementation is sometimes a minimum of a year before
Yeah,
you
it's
can get
crazy.
going.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
very different. Yeah, it's very, very different coming from what I was doing to this, because the implementation happens fast. The product will start working fast. It'll start providing you answers almost immediately, and it's adding that intelligence. Big term right now in the world is AI.
Oh,
So it
yes.
adds
The
that. It
buzzword
adds.
everywhere.
But that's right, the buzzword everywhere. So it's adding intelligence to your legacy application, which could be huge, because without system level intelligence, the hidden risk and the opportunity cost accumulate every day.
Yeah.
They every day. So that's one of our biggest use cases is companies that are interested in modernization. I would say the other biggest thing we see that Ozgar, just gives so much value to, as you know, with legacy software systems, when you go into these companies, typically it's been the system since day one, but also the handler of the system has also been there since day one.
Yep.
So a lot of companies, and it's not the company's fault, but a lot of companies don't usually think about, oh, man, this guy's going to leave one day, then what? Like,
Yeah.
what do we
That knowledge
do?
transfer, what are you going to do? Because this guy really has the keys to the kingdom. It's like the
Right.
guys that have the Excel spreadsheet, and if they didn't show up to work on a Tuesday, the company can't run.
Exactly. So, and with a tool like Ozgar, that's going to go ahead and build you that knowledge hub and document everything about your system and make it readable, explorable, and expandable. I just had this talk yesterday with someone. The gentleman has been with the company for almost 40 years. He's retiring, rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus, he's been working there for
Long
40
time.
years, long time. And he is their knowledge hub. He is their documentation. And now they're saying, oh no, because we're going to have to hire a new developer now. We're going to have to hire a new handler for this system. Okay? And it's like, oh no. What?
Yeah.
But how are we finding? I will say something I've learned about this space. It's very hard to find very skilled workers when it comes to AS400, RPG, COBOL, etc. Trust me, they're out there. There's plenty of them. I talk to them
They're
every
out
day.
there, but it's not easy. You can't just go find somebody. And a lot of the newer generations, they don't want to work on it because it's not pretty.
A lot of the newer generations are not getting the education, let's call it, of RPG, COBOL, etc.
Right.
like back in the day. It's just not really a thing. So a lot of times these companies, and this goes back to the conversation I had yesterday with someone, is they did bring someone new on board, but this person's like a lost puppy. It's they don't know how to navigate the system. They don't know where to find it. They don't know what this table is, or what this source code, what's this tied to. If I change it, what happens? They're blind.
Yeah.
They're absolutely blind. And then this is where a tool like Ozgar comes in, and they could easily just log into their Ozgar environment. They could ask the AI chatbot. They could literally say to it, "Hey, it's my first day. Can you show me all the relatable source files to accounting or HR or whatever?" They can do that, and then it's going to give them everything they need.
Yeah.
That anybody, I shouldn't say anybody, but most people with an IT background are going to be like, "Oh, this makes complete sense now. This is so." One of our biggest contributes is onboarding of new employees. Because the spin up time of onboarding someone new who doesn't have a tool like Ozgar could be months and months and months, and then that's not really providing any value to the business.
No.
But if they have a tool like Ozgar, that months and months and months gets shrunken, and then they can really start being an asset to the business.
Yeah, and it's just that learning curve that comes, and if you guys come in and you minimize that whole time, like now the employee coming in, to your point, they're bringing value almost day one to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty much exactly what we say to them. You know, instead of having that person be a value to you on day 90 or day 180, it's more like day 30, day 15. They're going to show more value to you. So it could be extremely helpful.
So when you walk into these organizations that have, been on these legacy solution, 20, 30 long time years,
Yeah.
what kind of the unspoken fear that they don't want to admit out loud of, we might have to move off this, or how can you help us stay on this? Is there anything that tribal knowledge gets stuck on?
That's exactly what they say, actually. I mean, they will literally say, we're really nervous to make a jump. I mean, as great as the cloud is and new ERPs are, et cetera, there's always a risk. There's always there's always a scare, right? And especially after you've been having something that's worked for you for so long, there's really nothing wrong with it. You're just thinking about changing it because you lost a guy. And, so that's one. Money is usually another topic. You and I both know a new system is not cheap.
Expensive, yeah.
It's very expensive. Where if there's a way that we could keep your current system running by providing a tool like Ozgar to your team of developers, your IT department, whatever, it's going to be literally a fraction of the cost of a new system. But change risk is such a big thing. A lot of people don't know how to navigate it. They don't know what to believe. They don't know what to trust. All they know is that their current system does work. It does. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I've seen it in my profession. I've sold companies new ERP systems, and they just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
They couldn't handle it. They weren't, they weren't using someone like you who could help them properly navigate the channels of upgrading a system. So they were doing it on their own, but they weren't ready. So what actually ends up happening, believe it or not, is they're going to go through a year and a half of implementation of a new system. They're going to drop hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in doing so. Then it's going to hit them like, you know what? This isn't working. I'm going back to my green screens. Because it's unfortunate, and we don't want to see companies do that. And if we can bring something to the world that can prolong these legacy systems that work in their backbone of businesses, and we're kind of modernizing them in a way because we're creating in simple terms, what Ozgar does is we create a whole knowledge hub of the documentation on exactly how your source code works, what it's doing for you, what it's tied to, how it works. And then we're giving you the AI portion of it that says, hey, if I want to do this, will it affect this? Or if I want to see what this source, like we're giving you that capability of modernization to your legacy system.
Right. Yeah. Without having to go spend hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars sometimes to do that. And I think too, something about the legacy systems that people forget is you own all your own data. You're usually not working on internet, so you don't have to worry that something's down or whatnot. You're on your own server. It's a lot more secure. You're not always worried about patch updates that are coming through. And
that's right.
There's a lot of pluses to those old systems. It's a lot of times it's just they're not pretty, but the functionality is deep.
Yes, extremely. And I was actually very surprised. I mean, I kind of figured it, but I was very, very surprised on how many companies out there today are actually still running legacy systems. I mean, I've recently have had a discussion with a gentleman who has been an independent consultant for legacy systems, AS400, for many years, 30, 40 years. And over all of his years of just building relationships with other consultants and doing projects, etc., he's compiled a list, and the list is insane on how we're talking 30, 40,000 companies. And that's just what one guy has come up with. So how many more are out there? So yeah, I mean, it's still a very big thing. And like we've said in a few minutes ago, it's a big thing because it works. It's reliable and it works.
And a lot of times too, for certain industries, like I would see these old green screens. I would go get the oil changed on the car, and they're using their button. They're not really worrying about a mouse. They got their system down and under control.
Buttons on the keyboards.
Yeah, and you got some old school printer that's making all the noise, going back and forth, and
they're ripping off the sides. They're ripping off the sides. Yeah.
Here's your carbon copy. You're ready to go.
Yeah, you get the yellow. We keep the white. Here you go.
Sign here, and we'll get your signature on that one. And but there's something to be said. I mean, it works. People get trained on it, and for as much as cloud systems are out there and newer technology with it, what are some of those handoffs that you're moving away from when you do move off a legacy system to a newer like ERP or cloud version of just some of that stability that you did have? Right.
It's a good way to sum it up.
Yeah. And I think like Ozgar really has come in and kind of change the game, I think, on that of making legacy software kind of be more popular again. It's because I think in the ERP world, you're like, oh, you guys, you got to get rid of this.
Gotta go. You got to get off.
Yeah. And coming in and from a different perspective now with what you do and giving it life and saying like, no, this will actually keep working with some additional modern tools. That
pretty much nails it right on the head with exactly what we're doing. We're really making that. We're making it not so reliable on just one person to know the system. It's because it's not exactly a smart thing to do.
No, it's really not.
And having the capability now to have a tool like Ozgar in your system and go hire 4 developers and give them access to this, it's going to make a pretty huge difference.
Like when you're going in there and talking to, the project sponsor or whomever on the client side, what are usually their aha moment of, we need to sign and get Ozgar in?
I would say, well, just like any sales process, right? We're gonna let them tell us what's going on and their pain points, etc. Once we show them the ease and how friendly the UI UX is, and when I say ease, just how easy it is to navigate all of your current source code and all of your information, and how detailed the information is that we give you in the documentation. That's kind of their moment, like, oh my God, I've never imagined this is actually better than the guy that we had. I mean, it's so easy, it's accessible, it's easy to read. It's not we give them a couple different versions. We give them the actual documentation, right? So let's say, for example, you want to look at a specific source for something in HR, it'll come up as a hyperlink that you can click on in the system, and you click on it, it's going to give you 3 options. It's going to give you the documentation, which is the words, right? So it's a Word documentation. And then it's going to give you what I call the nerd version, which is the actual source code. It's going to give you line by line of the actual source code of that functionality. And then it's going to give you the knowledge graph. the knowledge graph is going to show you, hey, here, and it kind of looks like something out of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
It's like the balls, and then it's got all the lines going to it, and the arrows continuously going. It shows you, hey, here's everything that this source code is tied to.
That's really cool.
So that's kind of like the moment where people are like, yeah, wow, we've never had anything like this, and I can understand why we need it. Mm-hmm. That's kind of their moment. It doesn't take long. I mean, Ozgar is not because tie it back to ERP for a second. Those demos could be days long. Exactly. They're very robust softwares. They do a lot. It takes a long time to go through them. This is something that gets demoed in 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, and I'm going to show you how it's going to bring 40 years of knowledge to a snap of a finger. It's really cool.
Which is nice because demo side of ERP, like it's mind, like there's so much information that comes in your mind. It's hard to keep learning of, hey, how is this all working together? And then, yeah, that's really nice. You're like, here, it's 20 minutes or less. Here you go, done.
Yep. It's very, cool. It's very easy. It's very easy to. It's kind of very, and I think it's also very easy on the prospect or client to see the value. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that we did when creating the product is we always kept in the back of our mind of, let's not make this like other applications, or let's not even make this like someone's looking at source code. Yeah. Like let's not make it line by line. Let's make it just very user friendly. Couple clicks here. We don't want a lot of stuff on the screen, etc. If everyone that's watching this video, you can go to our YouTube channel, and we recently did a webinar demoing the product and kind of going over who Ozgar is and all the aspects of it. But you can go on there and watch it and get a feel for yourself of how easy it is.
Yeah. And I think, too, it probably changes the relationships within the organization, too, of people don't have to lean maybe so heavy on the IT department to do everything for them. They can go in and read up on it and kind of learn as they go. And so it takes some of that responsibility off the IT always having to do something. Yes,
that is definitely another use case. So we actually in my sales presentation there's a picture that we show, and what the picture is it resembles a typically inside any organization, right? So you have you have HR, you have finance and accounting, you just have basic end users, you have the CTO, the CFO, the COO, a business analyst, architect, etc. And then it's a picture shows all of them asking the same question, like, hey, what happens if I do this? And what happens if we want to do a modernization? Or what happens if we want to outsource maintenance? And what happens if this guy leaves? And then all the arrows point to the developer.
Yeah.
And then developer's just like, okay, guys, like I'm trying to keep it together here. Like this is a lot of stuff. But offering a tool like Ozgar to all those different people, like you just said, it really will take a burden off of the IT department.
Because I see some of those ITs, and they need to run even sometimes a very simple report that they don't have the capacity to do during that week because they're working on something else. Like, so sorry, we can get this to you in 2 weeks, and it's like, well, I need it today because 2 weeks from now it's irrelevant. And I think, too, it probably helps from a growth side. You don't need to have an extravagantly sized IT department either that, is 30, 40 people. You can contain that.
Yeah, I mean, we recently got a testimonial from one of our customers, and this gentleman, he's a IT solutions architect. And we kind of asked him, hey, since you've been using Ozgar now for, I think they're probably going on close to 8, 9, 10 months now. But he said, what he likes to use it for all the time in his role is to understand problems faster and more thoroughly, especially around ERP and
Yeah.
and RPG related issues. You know, it's made a real big difference in how he can write a Jira ticket.
Yeah.
So Ozgar helps him create clearer, higher quality issues with specific program and code references. So that's going to save development a ton of time.
Yeah.
And then it cuts down on a lot of back and forth. And overall, it shows it can show the power of Ozgar, and it's what hopefully is going to keep continuing to move the IBM I community forward. It's tools like this.
So, like, when writing some of the code for that, is AI involved in it also to kind of help direct the person? Okay.
No, so we don't do anything with code generation. There's a big tool on the market right now. It's called Bob from IBM I. That is what that tool is for. That it'll better help you understand on how to write the code.
Okay.
It's a code assistant generator, essentially. So actually works very well and complements Ozgar. If you can have a tool like Ozgar and Bob working together, well, you could probably do some serious damage.
Yeah. I love how the older systems always have like the old grandpa name. You're like, yeah, but it's
Names.
Bob. He's got to come in and do some work. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've been hearing it come up a lot lately. It's people always ask us, well, how does it compare to Bob? And frankly, it really trying to think of the best way to word this. It really doesn't compare to Bob. It's more of a
Is it more like a complimentary, like
It is.
service
So
kind of?
it is. So Bob is gonna. Its primary purpose. Bob's primary purpose is code modernization,
Yeah.
where ours is system understanding and intelligence. So if you can do the system understanding and intelligence first, code modernization becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
So their focus is going to be refactor and convert code, where ours is going to be discover and explain what actually exists. So it's like I said, Ozgar is a tool that you need to have in place before modernization, but it can also add extreme value during modernization
Yeah.
and even after modernization,
Okay.
because it becomes your one source truth.
And then yeah, it all kind of flows together.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, cool. Any other highlights of things to mention if people are looking to have more information or whatnot, if Ozgar is a good fit?
Yeah, definitely follow us on LinkedIn. It's so crazy. We've grown our LinkedIn followers. So I've been here now for a little over 3 months, and we've grown it like over 300 people. Like it's just
Good.
so there's a lot of buzz getting out there about us for sure. But follow us on there for updates and announcements. We're gonna be launching. So right now, as of today, February 5th, Ozgar is only compatible with the AS400 IBM I space. However, at the end of February, we will be attending the Share Conference in Orlando, Florida, and that is for the IBM mainframe, the Z mainframe users, which we will be launching our ability to work in that environment as well.
Nice.
So if you're going to be at the Share Conference, it's the last week of February, I believe, in Orlando, look us up. We'll be there. We're also going to be doing a speaking session there on Thursday morning. So definitely look us up there. And then Yeah, website. I mean, we're a very active company when it comes to social media. So we're going to be doing more webinars. I think our next one is scheduled for March 11th, 12th, second week of March. I think we're going to be doing another
Okay.
webinar. The first webinar that we did, like I said, you can find that on our YouTube channel, or maybe we can post it when we post
Yeah, I
this.
can
But
post the link in here.
yeah, but that first webinar was really just kind of an overview of what Ozgar is. Our future webinars are going to be catered to more about use cases, right? Because we really want people to see the value that might be hitting with them at this current state of their business. So now that we got the overview out of the way of everything that it can do, we're going to kind of start nailing it down to specific use cases and trying to just make it even easier for people to realize that instead of this being a nice to have, it's a must have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the most important thing. Is just
Yeah,
it's the
yes.
education. I think you guys do a really good job about that. Of educating folks on what it can do, why it's going to be needed to stay and grow continually on your legacy system.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I think the direction it's going is a lot of people. Well, let me put it this way: when we first started really promoting this and getting it out there, we were hearing a lot of companies say this would be very nice to have. It's like they were seeing, and this is a common problem with newer companies, right? It's
Hmm.
okay that we're hearing this and saying this because one, it's good. People are seeing it and visualizing it and imagining them having it, but we're not exactly nailing down the message. And we've been working really hard in the past couple months and continue to work very hard of delivering the message of use cases, the why. What makes
Yeah.
us different? Why do you need it? And now it's really starting to drive home with companies, and I guess that's maybe a reason why I was brought on board. But I have a I
Hmm.
have an I have an awesome team here and very knowledgeable people, and I can promise you this: moving forward, there's going to be a lot of you're going to see a lot of use cases and reasons on why you need this tool. Um,
Yeah.
and with that being said, I'll tell you what. I'll even do this. Anyone who can reference this interview, who reaches out to me, we'll let them try it for free. We'll let them try it for free for a
There you
couple
go.
months, and yeah, we'll let them try it for free for a couple months to see the value. It's don't just take our word for it. Go play with it, install it, and yeah, and I think you'll see you'll really like what you find.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking about
Yeah.
Oscar and getting everybody up to speed about how you can still keep your legacy system with just new modern tools to throw on it. If people want
Yeah.
to reach out to you, what's the best way to contact you?
Best way is LinkedIn or send me an email. Just robert.moratti at ozgar.ai. So that's the best way to get a hold of me, and don't worry, I'll respond.
Cool. Well, thanks again so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,